1/3 of your life determines the other 2/3. Matthew Walker spent 20 years proving that sleep is the single most powerful performance enhancer ever discovered. What he found will change how you see every night for the rest of your life. Here is the question that haunted Matthew Walker for 2 decades. Why would evolution create a state where we are completely vulnerable, unable to eat, unable to reproduce, unable to defend ourselves? Sleep should have been eliminated millions of years ago, unless it does something so essential that without it, we simply cannot survive. And what Walker discovered is terrifying. Every major disease killing people in developed nations has a direct causal link to insufficient sleep. Heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, depression. The shorter you sleep, the shorter your life. But here is where it gets fascinating. Sleep is not the absence of wakefulness. It is a completely different biological state where your brain does things it cannot do while you are awake. Things that determine whether you remember tomorrow, whether you learn anything new, whether your immune system can fight cancer. And the first insight from this research will fundamentally change how you think about your nights. Insight number 1. Your brain has a sewage system, and it only works when you sleep. Walker describes something called the glymphatic system. During deep sleep, your brain cells shrink by up to 60%, creating channels between them. Cerebrospinal fluid then rushes through these channels, washing away toxic proteins that accumulated during the day. One of those proteins is beta amyloid, the substance that forms plaques in Alzheimer's disease. If this is already shifting your perspective, a like helps others discover this wisdom. Here is what makes this terrifying. When you skip sleep, that sewage system never activates. The toxic waste stays in your brain. And research now shows that people who averaged less than 6 hours of sleep in their 50s and 60s had a 30% higher risk of developing dementia. Your brain is literally cleaning itself every night. Or it is slowly poisoning itself because you wanted to watch one more episode. But let me shift your perspective entirely. Insight number 2 is not about your brain. It is about every other system in your body. Walker presents research showing that when you sleep less than 7 hours, your immune system's natural killer cells, the ones that destroy cancer, drop by 70% in one night. Think about that. One bad night of sleep and your body's ability to fight cancer drops by 70%. But it goes deeper than cancer. Men who sleep 5 hours have testosterone levels of someone 10 years older. Women who sleep less than 6 hours have a 30% higher rate of irregular menstrual cycles. Your heart rate variability crashes. Your insulin sensitivity plummets. After just 1 week of sleeping 6 hours per night, your blood sugar regulation looks pre-diabetic. Walker argues that sleep is not just rest. Sleep is the foundation upon which every other health practice depends. Exercise without sleep damages you. Healthy eating without sleep barely helps. The third insight explains exactly why. Insight number 3 reveals something counterintuitive about memory. You might think learning happens when you study. Walker proves that learning actually happens when you sleep. During deep sleep, your brain replays the day's experiences at 20 times normal speed. It is literally practicing what you learned, strengthening neural connections, moving information from short-term to long-term storage. Students who slept 8 hours after studying remembered 40% more than those who stayed awake. But here is the part that changed my understanding entirely. Your brain does not just record memories. It connects them. During REM sleep, your brain finds associations between completely unrelated ideas. This is why solutions often appear after sleeping on a problem. Thomas Edison, Salvador Dali, and countless other creative geniuses deliberately used sleep to solve problems. They were not lazy. They understood something about the brain that science only recently confirmed. But the next insight reveals why most people will never experience these benefits. And this is where everything changes. Insight number 4 is the reason you are probably not getting the sleep you need, even if you think you are. Walker calls it the caffeine deception. Caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours. That means the afternoon coffee you had at 2 p.m. still has half its caffeine circulating at 8 p.m. and a quarter remains at 2 in the morning. You might fall asleep fine, but caffeine blocks deep sleep, the exact sleep stage where your brain cleans itself and consolidates memories. People drinking caffeine late in the day get up to 20% less deep sleep without knowing it. They feel tired, so they drink more caffeine, which destroys more deep sleep, which makes them more tired. If you want to see how this connects to the most powerful insight, subscribe now because we are about to reach the transformation point. Walker also identifies alcohol as a sleep destroyer. It sedates you, but sedation is not sleep. Alcohol fragments sleep architecture and suppresses REM. That nightcap is not helping you rest. It is preventing genuine sleep. Now we reach the insight that Walker considers most important of all. Insight number 5 is about something called sleep pressure and circadian rhythm. Your body has two separate systems controlling sleep. The first is adenosine buildup. From the moment you wake, adenosine accumulates in your brain, creating sleep pressure. After 16 hours, that pressure becomes overwhelming. This is why you feel tired at night. The second system is your circadian clock, controlled by light. It rises and falls on a roughly 24-hour cycle regardless of how tired you are. Here is where it gets critical. These two systems must align for quality sleep. When they do not, you get insomnia, jet lag, or the chronic exhaustion of shift workers. Walker reveals that artificial light, especially blue light from screens, delays your circadian rhythm by up to 3 hours. Your body thinks it is still afternoon when it is actually midnight. The adenosine is there. The sleep pressure is there. But your circadian rhythm says stay awake. This mismatch is the hidden epidemic of modern life. So what is the answer? Walker provides a protocol that has helped millions transform their sleep. First, consistency. Go to bed and wake at the same time every day, including weekends. Your circadian rhythm cannot adjust to shifting schedules. Second, temperature. Your body needs to drop 1 to 2 degrees to initiate sleep. A cool bedroom around 65 degrees Fahrenheit dramatically improves sleep onset. Third, darkness. Remove all light sources. Even dim light through closed eyelids suppresses melatonin. Fourth, the 90-minute rule. Caffeine stops at least 10 hours before bed. Alcohol stops at least 3 hours before bed.